Hello friends, my name is Tej. Today I am going to start a video series to develop a REST API automation framework using .NET. This framework basically developed with the concept of BDD framework. To understand BDD framework, you can subscribe or you can see my previous video. Before going to set up automation framework, we should know about the REST API. So what is REST API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. Is a set of subroutine definitions, protocols and tools for building application software. REST. Stands for Representational State Transfer. Is an architectural style that defines a set of constants and properties based on HTTP. The following HTTP methods are typically used in RESTful API. First is GET. GET method is used to retrieve the resource information or representation. Second method is POST. Method basically used to create a new subordinate resources. If a resource has been created on the server, then the response should be returned status code 201. Third method is PUT. Put method basically used to update the existing resources. If resource does not exist, then it will create a new one and it will return the status code 201. Otherwise it will modify existing data and it will return 200. Fourth is delete. The delete method is basically used to delete the resource. Fifth one is patch, to make partial update on a resource. If you see put request also modify a resource entity, so to make more clear, patch method is just correct choice for partially updating an existing resource, and put should only be used if you are replacing the resource in its entirety. Below are the softwares and tools which is required to set up a API framework. First one is Microsoft Visual Studio, second one specflow, third one REST Sharp, and fourth one is NUnit framework. Microsoft Visual Studio.NET. Once you have installed Microsoft Visual Studio.NET, you need to follow below step to add new project. See the screen which is provided in the next slide. First, on the file menu, just click on new and then click on new project. In the installed templates, select Visual Studio C# and click on class library. In the name text box, provide your text suite name, whatever you can choose. In location, you can specify your drive path where you want to create and save the project. Once filling the details, click OK to create project as a class library. This will be the template which you can see in the .NET Visual Studio. specflow. Specflow is a testing framework which support BDD framework used in .NET technology. It defines a test case behavior in plain meaningful English text using simple grammar language which is called gherkin. Please follow the steps to add the specflow with class library or your project. In Solution Explorer, right click on the project name, then click on Manage Nugget Package, search specflow in the given box and install it. This will add the techtalk.specflow.dll in the references. REST Sharp is a comprehensive open source HTTP client library that works with all kind of .NET technologies. It can be used to build a robust application by making it easy to interface with public APIs and quickly access data without the complexity of dealing with raw HTTP requests. Please follow below steps to add REST Sharp. In the Solution Explorer, right click on the project name, click on Manage Nugget Package, just search for REST Sharp in the given box and install it. This will add restsharp.dll in the references. NUnit framework. NUnit is an open source unit testing framework for Microsoft.NET. It serves the same purpose as JUnit does in the Java world and is one of the many programs in the XUnit families. Please follow below setup to add an unit. In the Solution Explorer, right click on the project name, click on Manage Nugget Package, search NUnit in the given box and install it. This will add nunit.framework.dll in the. Hello friends. In my previous video, you have seen that how we can set up the REST API automation framework using .NET. Today I am going to set up automation framework using .NET, and I will create a API project, and we will add all the DLLs which is required for the this framework. So to set up an API framework, we need below software or tools. First is Microsoft Visual Studio, specflow, restsharp, and NUnit. Below are the steps to add all the required DLLs or libraries to the .NET project. First, how we can add class library. So just go to file, new, and project. You will get all the templates. So you need to select the class library, change the name of the class library whatever you want to, and select the folder where you want to save this project and click on OK. So I'm just uh, saving this project on the desktop and then click OK. So it will create a class library in the Solution Explorer. If you see, you will see the project name as API Automation Test Suite. Now we can see how we can add the specflow DLL. So first you need to right click on API project, go to manage nugget package, and you need to search specflow in the given text box. Since this is already installed, and before installing you need to connect with the internet. So I already installed in this with this project. After installation you will see in the references you will get the techtalk.specflow, that is the DLL for the specflow. Same thing how we can add the REST sharp to the .NET project. So just right click on API automation test suite, manage nugget package, and then search the REST sharp. Since this is already installed, so we can move ahead. And same thing we can add an unit also. So just right click on project name, manage NuGet package, and you need to search an unit and install it. After installation, you will get the DLL in the project references and unit.framework. Friends, in my last video, you have seen how we can set up automation framework using .NET. We have seen that we can add all the DLLs, we can create a class library project, and we can add specflow, REST and unit DLLs. Today I am going to demonstrate how we can add the specflow feature file and step definition file using .NET. So first we will see how we can write feature file. So just go to the solution explorer and you can right click on uh, class library and you can click on add. We just adding a new folder because there are lots of features you can implement, so I'm just adding a feature as a folder, and then we can add a feature file. So right click on it, add new item. So it will give you all the feature files. So just check the specflow feature file, just change name for that. So I've just added API. So I'm just added API application dot feature file, so it will be added to the folder. So if you see API application dot feature, so you will see the feature name and it will give you the some basic scenario example. So I just remove this and we can add our own scenario. So I'm just writing get API response using given endpoint. So whatever endpoint we have for that a particular API, we will get the response for that. So I have just written, I just need to write given when and then. So given I have a endpoint that can be any endpoint slash slash account slash slash anything, and since when you have an endpoint, so you should have a one base URL that will be a server URL. So when you hit that server URL using endpoint, you will get the response. So I'm just adding, and I have a base URL http dot api http colon slash slash my domain.com. It can be anything. Then we can write when statements. So when I call get method for this given endpoint, and finally the then part. So in then we will just verify what response we will get. So I'm just writing a statement like then I get API response in JSON format. So this will be the actually scenario where I am writing a scenario get API response using given endpoint. Then we have written given I have a endpoint slash endpoint, and I have a base URL that is https or http mydomain.com. When I call get method of API, then I will get the API response in JSON format. So the feature file will be added to the project with the dot feature extension, and you and your scenario test scenario will be written in Gherkin language in the format of given when then. So what is endpoint? The endpoint of a API is simply a unique URL that represents an object or a collection of objects. You will point your HTTP client at to interact with the data sources resources. And what is the base URL? The base URL is used for all the operations formatted as HTTP, the server name, and then slash REST API endpoint. So how we can create a step definition? So I will just demonstrate how we can add step definitions and write the code. So again, go to the solution explorer. We just create one new folder that that is for the steps. Maybe you can just write step definition or steps. So all the steps file will be class file will be coming to this folder. So again, just right click on it, and mostly for the naming convention we used to add the step definition name same as feature file. So you will see step you just click on add and you will see the step flow step definition spec flow step definition, and you can type the same name whatever the feature file having. So it will create one class file that is api application.cs. So how we can create a method for these given when then? So you just right click on the methods and click on the generate definition and copy the methods to the clipboard and paste in the inside the class. I'm just removing unnecessary code from the definition and paste whatever you have copied. So you will see all four methods will be copied to the api application.cs file, and just save it. So if you see all the statements are coming in the black letter. Previously it was in gray. Since we are sending the endpoint as a parameter, so we just remove it from this statement, and we will put bracket dot star, and we will pass endpoint as a string. So whatever endpoint we are sending from the given method, it will come as a parameter. And same thing for we can do for this base URL. So bracket inside the bracket dot star, and just typing a string base URL. So this will be the method for the step definition. When you will save it, and you just need to click on F12. You just need to press F12 from your computer, your keyboard. You will go to the method name. So the step definition is a .cs file and a sealed class which cannot be inherited. That is actually an important point, that all the step definition class are sealed. It cannot be inherited. Also, class having a binding attribute above on the class name, which means the step class is binding with the feature files. All method having given when then attribute above on the method which given statement same as the feature file. So if you see the namespace dot steps, because we have created one step folder. Inside that we have created a class API application. So if you see in this example, the public sealed class API application, above this we are writing the binding. So it's by default it's written binding, and the class will be the sealed class. And if you see the given, and then at the rate I have a endpoint, and in the bracket dot star, it means that we have passing something from the given statement, and that should be treated as a parameter. So we have passed that as a parameter in the definition method. So it says public void given I have endpoint, and in the curly bracket, the parameter is passed as a string endpoint. So today we have seen how we can add the feature file and step definition file. To get more videos, please subscribe my YouTube channel, Automation Tech Group. Thank you so much.